Morning live show. We're live 7 days a week, 365 days a year, right here on our YouTube channel, our Facebook groups, our Facebook pages, and Twitch, a couple other places. Twitter, I think. Yeah, Twitter, maybe. Yeah, few different places, and I don't know. Between them all, well, hopefully you get a chance to find us, join us, get those notifications. But it is a pretty solid day of sports here. We've got the Preakness Stakes. We've got NBA basketball, NHL, 16 Major League Baseball games. 16 or 17? 16.
16, the White Sox game doubleheader moved to tomorrow.
Tomorrow, doubleheader. All right, so plenty of action today. Last night we saw the Warriors say to the Mavericks, we could beat you with one hand tied behind our back. Pretty much is what they said. They absolutely embarrassed the Mavericks in that game, I would say. You spot a team, that kind of lead, and you kind of just really don't do anything at all. You kind of go through the motions, and then you decide, well, in order to win, we need to hit some shots. And I'll tell you, if the game goes another 5 minutes, the Warriors win by 30. Is the way that one goes. It was not even close. But the NHL, Edmonton stealing one on the road there at Calgary. That series, Chris, does that signify that series is over?
Not by any stretch of the imagination.
It was, although when I didn't watch the game, of course, but I saw on ESPN as I was looking at other stuff. I saw who was scoring the goals for Edmonton, and it was all the guys, if you're the other team, that you don't want scoring the goals. It was Duncan Keith. It was Connor McDavid. It was Keith to McDavid. It was a nightmare, right? Because those are the guys that's like, we'll let anybody else beat us but those guys. Isn't that usually the strategy? Like in most sports, you try and take away their best of their best and, let anybody else try and beat you. But,
you cut off the head of the snake and try to let, like you said, let the role players beat you. But no, there was no shutting down Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl last night. It was, Calgary's got some adjustments to make for Game 3 for sure.
Well, we saw Ron Romanelli. We saw Wander Franco deciding that he doesn't need to slide in extra innings into home plate for a bang play. That he'll just run across the base, and his team lost the game. It was like, the guy standing behind the plate, his teammate, is screaming and pushing the hand, slide. Any idea what's going on there?
You're taught from a very young age. You always slide into home plate, even if it's not even close. Most times you slide in, but that was a wild game.
Tampa Bay not known
to win that game.
Tampa Bay not known for not doing the little things right.
Oh, I know.
It's that's how they win. And this guy decides, well, I've got a full head of steam. I'm rounding third. I'm coming home. They call him safe, but he wasn't safe. Even the guy who was signaling, slide, did this.
Yeah. That's when you know.
That's when you know. When your own teammate calls you out. Brian, the Phillies, nothing pretty about it there. Once again,
their offensive bats seem to have fallen asleep, but I think we're in a good situation today, so hopefully we bounce back.
And Big Al, the horse racing king, I think, nobody else puts in horse racing picks as cappers at our site, but I think Big Al has probably cashed 90% of the ones that you put in since joining Pick Dogs.
Don't jinx me, but yeah, we cashed the Derby.
Something like
cashed
that.
We cashed the Preakness last year, and going to go for it again today. With Preakness Stakes winning info, so I hope everyone joins. We got a lot of people join for the Derby, so I hope everyone returns for the Preakness. One of the strange things I've seen over my 30-some years in the business is the Kentucky Derby is actually, maybe to the Super Bowl, the second biggest event in this country as far as wagering interest. People don't think about it, but it is huge.
Oh, it's big. It's big.
People will bet on the Kentucky Derby who don't bet on anything else. It's very similar to the Super Bowl in that respect, just not as big as the Super Bowl. But And then what you do is you do see a drop off for the Preakness and for the Belmont, which I don't understand at all. Everyone wants to bet on the Derby, and they say, okay, I won my money in the Derby. I don't need to bet on the Preakness. But the Preakness is actually an easier race to handicap than the Kentucky Derby, generally speaking. There's a lot less horses. So I hope everyone who did make money in the Derby comes back today for the Preakness.
Speed is usually all you need in the Preakness. It's generally those really fast horses get it done there. It's a little tighter track as well. Turns are tighter. The whole thing is just a tighter track. And personally, I think they should move the third jewel of the Triple Crown out to Santa Anita, move the Belmont to the second race, and the real three big tracks. Have it at that, or do something like that. Keeneland, anything. This track doesn't make sense with the other tracks. It's just not that level. Like a regular Pimlico Saturday or Tuesday or Wednesday card doesn't even come close to these other tracks. And then you could have the summer Triple Crown, right? Keeneland, Saratoga, and what is it, Del Mar or whatever, right?
Yeah, I love Del Mar, but on my bucket list, I've never been up to Saratoga. So one of these years,
love Saratoga. Love Saratoga. Love Keeneland. Love those places. Saratoga, you could catch a concert and hit the track. They have the double duty. It's like, so you can go to the Grateful Dead concert and bet the ponies. It's a nice weekend at Saratoga Springs. But I love it there. I think Keeneland to me is my favorite track. I don't know. It's just, I think the reason why I like it so much is because the bombs really hit there. It's kind of like Breeders' Cup Day where, like, there's no bad horses, so you get a lot of really good value on a 10, 12, 15 to 1, or, like, they would be, even money at Belmont on the same day. So, it's kind of like on the Breeders' Cup. That's why you always get those big payers there. But anyways, let's look at tonight's NBA action in Boston. We head to TD North Garden, and it is the Celtics and the Heat. Game 3. Game 1, the Heat kind of toyed with the Celtics for the first half and then poured it on. And then for the after that, it was all Heat in the second half. And then Game 2, the Celtics, a little bit of revenge. I think the Heat are one of those teams that's just a grinding team, so they're not going to look good on every single night, but the body of work just seems to always point to a really strong effort. And Kyle Lowry probably going to be back for this one, is my guess. Chris, any thoughts on tonight's game in Boston?
Yeah, I'm my strongest free play here is I like Boston -3.5 in the first half. We've seen Boston come out strong in each of the first two games in the first half, and obviously Game 1 it kind of fell apart, and really that third quarter did the Celtics in as the Heat won. But then in Game 2, Celtics were up by 25, rode that to the finish line, and I think another strong first half in store here. I don't expect the Heat to go down quietly, but I think we see the Celtics rise up at home and have another solid lead at the end of the first half.
Brian?
Yeah, this was a tough one for me to get to a spread winner here, but I think I'm going to lean towards the Miami Heat plus the points. They're just, one of probably the best coached team in basketball. And after that absolute woodshedding they took in Game 2, I think we're going to see a close ball game tonight. So I'm going to take the points in the Miami Heat.
How about you, Ron?
Yeah, I know the first two games of the series, a lot of people were expecting low-scoring games. The total was set super low, and both of them went way, way over the total. But I do think it makes sense. You look at the total for this game; it hasn't budged. It's still 207.5, which is pretty low. The public's still on the over, but I like the under here. You look at both of these teams; both these teams are in the top 3 in defensive efficiency in the playoffs thus far. Both teams were in the top 5 in defensive efficiency in the regular season. And, you look at Boston in Game 2, they shot 50% from 3, 20 of 40 from 3. I just don't think that's going to happen yet again in this spot. I do think this is going to be a first 100 points win, so I like the under in this one.
Al?
I actually have pick dog premiums on the side and total in this game. But I can maybe talk about something that surprised me, and not much surprises me these days, but I was actually surprised to learn how often number one seeds have been underdogs of more than 6 points in the NBA playoffs. You wouldn't think it would happen a whole hell of a lot, but it's happened 46 times going back 32 years, which to me was awfully high. Because I was taken aback when I first saw the number for this game. I never would have thought it would have been 6.5 points. And actually, the number one seeds have done very well as underdogs of more than 6 points in the NBA playoffs. They're 29-17 ATS. In elimination games, they're 4-4, but in non-elimination games, 25-13 ATS, including 14-3 ATS if their opponents off an ATS win. So that actually was a little bit surprising to me that we've had this many games where number one seeds are big underdogs.
Well, I think, I think for me, what we saw, kind of back to what Ron said, in game one, the world was on the under in that game, and they got fried. And for the public, in general, and, I don't try not to say squares in public too often. I don't really, know if there's even such a case anymore, that because betting is so widespread, it's hard to tell even who's who. And, some casual bettors are betting. There just seems to be more disposable income that the upper echelon of the world has, right? So what's a giant bet for one person is a small bet for another. And that certainly sways the action. We never had guys like Mattress Mac before who bang the odds. We've never had guys like that before who kind of just, I wouldn't consider him a sharp bettor, even though he's throwing down millions of dollars a game. But it certainly does move the odds, and you could see it, when he does it on TV and he hits the window at a horse race, you see it move the odds. And if you can move the odds at Churchill Downs, you sure as hell can move it for Carolina Panthers game, or something, so. And it's not just,
but it is also different with pari-mutuel betting.
Of course, yeah. Well, because it's automatic. The books, it's kind of a manual update when they see their exposure, right?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm running a book and Mattress Mac walks into my book and makes a bet, I'm not moving the odds. I'm just taking his bet. That's me.
Right, but it's like you don't want to say, what if he bets 5 to 7 million? Do you really want to be on the hook for that? If you don't have to be.
But you can always, you've got your choice. You can always lay it off if you want. It's all negotiated anyway. You can take what you want. But I'm not necessarily going to move the odds because, you negotiated up front what the price is and how much he's going to bet, right? So, if you move it to a bad number, you're going to get hit as well. So what's the point?
I think that in this case, though, I think what we're looking at here is that the public, or the general normal bettor, the person that you meet at the guy at the bar, right? The guy at the bar who's talking about betting on sports, they're going to prefer the over to the under. So game one took them way outside of their comfort zone to the underside, and they were super confident about it. As a matter of fact, woofing a tremendous amount of it in my direction for giving out the over on my video pick. But the thing is that now that they've been roasted on the under, I think they're a little bit. They've forgotten just how good defensively these teams really are, and the reason why they were on the under in that game in the first place. And I think after 2 games of the feeling out process, take out the boxing gloves for this one. I think this one's going to be played in the octagon. I think I agree with Ron. I think 100 points is going to do it. I think it could be even less than that. I think in the 90s might do it. This could be a 95, 95-88 type game. Either way. But I think it's going to be super low scoring, and I think points are going to be tough to come by. And I think that we're going to see. I think it's going to be chippy. I think that the refs are going to be, put to the test here, decide how tight they're going to call this thing, because I don't think these guys are going to just sit around and let what's happened happen to them any longer. It's there's a lot at stake now. It's game 3. It's like it's series 1-1. It's now at the best 3 out of 5. Jovan, what do you think? What are they talking about in Boston? They got the boxing gloves out for this one?
Oh, I don't know if they have the boxing gloves out for it, but I don't know. Optimism of ending this in 5, I guess. The way they beat down the Heat in the last game. You have these I don't know, shifts of thought game after game. So after game 1, you had the Heat. They're gonna take it. Then you see the Celtics in game 2 just run roughshod over them. Now everyone's saying Boston's gonna take it to 5, 6, or whatever. That's the consensus right now. So from game to game it shifts. But for me, as far as the total, and I'm not gonna give it out, but I think that what you're gonna need to have for the Heat at least, is for them not to play the Celtics style offensively, which is playing with tempo, because that's what the Celtics are doing, and they're killing them like that. And the Heat are trying to do that, but that's not really their style of play. And their 3-point shots not hitting. And if their 3-point shots not hitting, you're relying on Jimmy Butler too much. As you've seen, and basically for 6 of the 8 quarters, they've been in trouble. So they need to slow it down. They need to get into their sets, their offensive sets, and do it that way. But they need someone else to show it. They need Bam Adebayo. They actually need a Kyle Lowry.
But the Heat have been in trouble in 77 of their 82 regular season games. Also, I mean, it just seems that they're always in trouble. And then even 2 years ago in the bubble when they went to the finals, every single game they were in trouble until the last 5 minutes. And then they keep it close enough. They claw their way back. They kind of get under the other team's skin. They frustrate them. The other team starts taking bad shots. Then the Heat outmuscle them underneath the boards, and then they go to the whiteboard. And when this guy goes to the whiteboard in the last 5 minutes, it's all over because there's not a coach out there outside of Popovich, maybe Phil Jackson if he came back, who are really in the same league as him when it comes to those last 5 minutes, and drawing it up when you actually have to coach.
He's definitely Eric Spoelstra is definitely a top-notch X and O's guy. Can't say anything about that, but when you're dealing with 2 of your 5 starters being undrafted, you saw it in game 2. It wore on them. They need Kyle Lowry to come back, and they need who's the one who got injured? Journeyman, but no, he plays hellified defense. I forget his name. He was where
PJ
Tucker.
Yep.
So they need those 2 guys. If they're not gonna have them, when you miss guys like that, rotational guys that are key pieces, and you don't have them, it hurts. It hurts in your rotational sets, especially like in your second unit, at least in basketball. So they need those guys. They traveled to Boston, so they could play. I don't know
I think Lowry's going to play, and I think
needs to play.
I think Victor Oladipo needs to take a bigger role here too, and really provide a spark here. He certainly has the skills to do so, and we saw the Celtics do this same tactic back in the day. It was Bill Walton. I talk about it on our morning show all the time. It was kind of an injured, banged-up guy who really had a great skill set and could contribute full tilt for 12 minutes a game, And that was Bill Walton, and he always provided that spark because, a big guy. He's Chet Holmgren before there was a Chet Holmgren, right? He's as good, he's a better passer than Chet Holmgren. He's a better player than Chet. He's way better than Chet Holmgren. It's not even compared. They talk about Chet Holmgren like he's a point guard or whatever. Bill Walton is the best passing center. There's ever been. So I don't know. I just think that I think this game's going to be physical, and I think what we've seen from the Heat all season long is that in the first quarter, they start throwing up shots, and it's like, if they don't go, well, then they're going to be clawing their way out of the whole game, and it's like, but they will be throwing up the threes early. It's just what they do, and if they don't drop, well, then they're in a hole, but if they do hit, they normally run away and hide. So you got to watch out. Al Niños, Celtics favored by 6.5. Is that an automatic for you there, or you look at both sides here?
Always got to look at both sides, especially when you're laying this many points. But yeah, I got my premium play on the side, so don't want to say too much about that. But as far as the total goes, that's pretty tough too. It's two very good defensive teams, but we've seen this game go over the total, and I just think this total is still set a bit too low for me personally. So I might sound like the guy at the bar, but I think I got to go with the over if I had to play this total, but I don't have any action on it.
All right, El Nino's at the bar early and often here on Saturday. He's gearing up. It's gonna get all lathered up for the Preakness and just be babbling by the time they tip off at TD North Garden tonight. But anyways, speaking of babbling, Chris, what do you got for sale today?
Well, I got a couple things for sale. I got my my MLB $15 pick-off play. We hit our first one yesterday. I'm trying to make it 2 in a row. And I got my my MLB Saturday triple play, my 3 other favorite best bets on the MLB card for $39.95.
How about you, Brian?
I'll tell you what, sitting at 4th place in the baseball rankings, going to try to move up today. I got my Brian Bitler's all baseball super sharp 3-pack, my 3 best bets in baseball for $40 at pickdogs.com premium picks. Trying to catch Romanelli, who's number 1 right now.
Well, there's a lot to be played. You can't win the baseball championship in May, that's for sure.
Romanelli's doing a good job.
He's doing a great job. He's got the rundown going. He's killer. He's superstar, celebrity. He's our latest. He's the king of the internet, the king of all media. Worldwide.
My mom wants his autograph, so you have to get him to send out a picture.
Worldwide Romanelli. Everyone's saying how much more they like him than me, and I'm good with it. I'm way good with it. I have had a really long, good run, so it's about time to see the light, at least, of where the torch can be passed, as far as delivering it every day on YouTube. Ron, what do you got cooking today? With the we know the rundown is out. And it's been run down. And what do you got?
Yep, I got my top play each day, my Ron's Rundown MLB Best Bet. We've cashed 6 of those in a row, so we're going for a full week worth of winners there. I've also got a 3-pack in the MLB with my best bet, and then you get 2 other plays, one of my total crushers and my moneyline slammer. So yeah, 3-pack and my best bet.
You got Big Al. Big Al, you can see where the future of our business is going. It's right next to you on the screen. I think we're in good hands.
I've got a lot today. I've not had very many basketball plays in this conference final round. I've only had one, and that was on Golden State in Game 1. I passed the Boston series completely until today, and I passed Golden State Dallas in Game 2. But I like both the side and total in this Game 3 tonight between Boston and Miami, and my totals play is my Eastern Conference total of the year, so that's really strong. Then I have baseball as well. I've got 2 baseball plays. I lost yesterday. I was 0-1. I had a baseball play, and that was a tough loss. We had San Francisco in extra innings, but looked to bounce back. I'm 46-23 in my last 69 in baseball. I've got 2 MLB winners. I've got the Preakness Stakes as we look to stay red hot at the track. And then to round it all out, I've got USFL football, which, I don't think a lot of people are handicapping, but, I've been enjoying handicapping it thus far, and I'm going to have 2 plays. I still need to post them at PickDog, so I should get going and do that. The game tonight's a night game, and then I'll have a play for Sunday as well. So I'll get those posted fairly soon, but I'll have 2 USFL plays as well on the weekend.
How about you, Jovan? What do you got cooking today?
I got one play in the Eastern Conference Finals Game 3, $29.99 at the website.
Al Ninos.
Got a 3-pack of my best bet in each sport, and I have a 3-pack in the MLB and a few extra MLB plays for one on the long-term passes.
All right. I got my $15 big play. I've hit 5 of my last 6 on that. I added an afternoon play, and I've got a 3-pack We got a pick on my side pick on tonight's NBA Finals. And, yeah. Got my weekly, my 3-day, my monthly, my yearly. Got it all. Do yourself a favor. Go long term. Way cheaper. I know a lot of people hammering Ron's rundown pick for $15 a day, but if you bought his week, how much is your weekly?
I'm actually not sure off the top of my head. Let me see.
There's a guy who see he's only in it for the money.
Yeah.
It's like he couldn't even tell you how much a pick is.
$159.99.
$159.99. How about the monthly?
$389.99.
$389.99. So 15 times. So it'd be $600 a
usually
month
have
for
about 3
just
plays
the
a day.
rundown.
Yeah.
No, it'd be less.
I usually
than that,
have about
less
3
than that.
plays a day.
It'd be about 500 for the rundown if you just got the rundown play, but he has 3 plays a day, so you get 3 times the picks for 2/3 the money. Something like that. It's a nice deal.
What a great deal.
It's a bargain.
And if you act right now, I'll throw in my hat.
We got our 2-for-1 capper specials as well, so be sure to check those out. We're actually going to be adding longer term and kind of some other 2-for-1 capper specials as we go. I think we're going to be adding 3-month and 6-month and yearly, something like that. Not sure how it's going to work, but I go to the meeting, but my job here is to say, take whatever Bitler's on the other side of.
I dare you.
Speaking of the other side, Arizona Diamondbacks taking on the Chicago Cubs.
Got one right. You got one right. You got me.
How about the yes runs first inning over 2.5 in the Atlanta Miami game at plus, what was it, Chris? 865. We hit that on.
I think, it was around plus 860, 865.
865. I gave it out on yesterday's morning show. I see Trevor Rogers. I say yes to the Yerfie. And I tell you what, I don't feel, Chris asked me why I didn't go 3.5 yesterday. And I said, no reason to be a pig. There's no reason. At 2.5 at 865. What was it? What was the 3.5? We wouldn't have cashed it though.
Plus 1550.
1550. Ooh. They know how to get me, though, those books. They dangle it out there, right? They're like, maybe we can get them I don't know. Maybe tomorrow we'll go 1720. It's like trying to get me. But we've got the White Sox-Yankees, game uno. Nestor Cortez Jr. already clarified that's Ruffalo's second favorite Cuban-American junior, next to Desi Arnaz Jr. We've got Justin Steele, minus 145 at Wrigley Field. Oh, man.
Sign me up.
What is going on in this world? Oh, man. Justin Steele, the minus 145 favorite. I mean, the Cubs haven't beaten the Diamondbacks since the Eisenhower administration. And then you got Toronto against the Reds. Remember, I think it was, what year was it? Was it 2004? 2007? The Cubs played the Diamondbacks and they were like beating their chests like in the playoffs, and it was, one of the quickest sweeps you'll ever see. It was like 3 2-hour games that the Diamondbacks won 3-0. It was like, oh man, they were in and out. And ever since then, it's really always been the same story. But anyways, Yankees, White Sox, Nestor Cortez, Dallas Keuchel. Number 2 is the Cubs, Diamondbacks. That's Justin, minus 145 Steele versus Madison Bumgarner, who's really not been bad this season. And then Alek Manoah is a minus 260 pitcher these days to the Cincinnati Reds, who have covered 9 run lines as a dog in a row. Talk about handing out the money. They did it again last night. I know Brian loves that Cincinnati Reds run line. What do you think, Brian, these 3?
Well, you might call me a public tool today, but I'm going to take the Toronto Blue Jays, but I'm going to lay the 2.5 here at a plus 130. You're getting lucky on these alternate spreads, and I just think Alek Manoah is just a dominant pitcher, and Green hasn't showed me much of anything. I think
except for the no-hitter last time out, right? He has thrown me nothing except for the no-hitter last time he was
You got to go with one start doesn't make a season. The ball.
Well, he was the second overall pick in the entry draft, so it's like obviously he's got a high ceiling.
Today. I think Manoah is going to step up and
shown me nothing. Okay.
But that's my public tool play. I really like the White Sox plus the 1.5. Dallas Keuchel's had many problems this season, but I think he's off two, I would say, sturdy starts. Nothing special, but I think the White Sox have the offense to stay in this game with the Yankees, and Cortez has pitched well above his stat line. Maybe Cy Young candidate, American League. Give me the White Sox plus the 1.5. And then Arizona Diamondbacks and Cubs. Give me the Cubs all day. The only reason it's not a premium is that money line's a little high, minus 150, minus 145. I don't think they're giving away money here. So
loved Kyle Hendricks yesterday.
You got one, but I'm back on the Cubs today. They get it done.
Okay, Chris Ruffalo, you were with Brian yesterday. How about today?
Yeah.
Jumping ship at minus 145.
I can't even swim and I jump ship. I'm on the Diamondbacks here. I think Justin, the man of steel, I think we found his kryptonite. I think we're going to take the Diamondbacks, who've just been the better team so far in this series. And as much as I don't, I don't love Madison Bumgarner's last couple of starts, but
well, how about the one where he got thrown out of the game in the first inning? That one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm just saying, I didn't love it overall, but he's been pitching fairly well this season, even though he's only going about 5 innings per. So. And just this pick for me is just the fact that the Arizona Diamondbacks have been the better team so far in this series. So, yeah, give me Arizona there. I'm still sticking with the Chicago White Sox plus 1.5. Looks like we have the same pitching matchup, Keuchel and Cortez Jr., and my thoughts haven't wavered on that. And I like the over 8 in that Blue Jays and Reds matchup. I think if Cincinnati's going to do any scoring, it probably comes off of Toronto's bullpen. I think Toronto can get to Hunter Green here. I think it says something that you throw a no-hitter and you still find a way to lose the game. So
6 times in Major League history.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't happen often, but I think it's just sort of a microcosm of Hunter Green's season. He's pitched as well as he possibly could, but I think it's something always finds a way to kind of screw him a little bit. So I'm gonna take the over 8 in that one. I think we see a bunch of runs in that game.
Ron, Brian obviously a little jealous that it wasn't him that got to fondle Madison Bumgarner's hands. Who do you like in this time slot?
Well, you might want to get the tomatoes ready. I've had a lot of regrets in my life, but I don't think any of them are as big as me not putting the Cubs in as a premium play today. I really like Chicago in the spot. The price is steep, like Brian mentioned, so shop your lines. I'm seeing it go up to like minus 160, which is getting up there. Maybe lay the run line, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of runs scored in this game, so that might be tricky. Could be a one-run game, but I like the Cubs. You look at Chicago's offensively against lefties. They're 10th in the league in team OPS against lefties. They're 7th in the league in isolated power against lefties. And Madison Bumgarner has a 2.29 ERA, but I don't think it's going to last much longer. You look at his FIP at 4.56, his xFIP at 5.13. He's only striking out 5.35 batters per 9 innings. That's way, way down from last season, and he's really more of a pitch-to-contact guy to begin with. 3.57 walks per 9 are up from last year, so I really don't know how he has that 2.29 ERA, to be honest with you. And Justin Steele, he doesn't give up hard contact. He doesn't give up many home runs. He's in the top 99th percentile in barrel percentage this season. I think he pitches well against the Diamondbacks lineup that loves righties more than lefties this year against lefties. They are, I think, 26th in team OPS against lefties this season. So I like the Cubs here. I think they win this ball game. So I'll take them on the money line.
Jovan? Big Al, I'm sorry.
Jovan can go if he wants to go. I saw Nestor Cortez, on TV. I was watching the game, a few starts ago where he almost threw the no-hitter against Texas. I mean, he looked so good. A lot of pitchers might have letdowns after that start, but he just continued to roll. He's been terrific all season. He hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in any of his 7 starts this year. And then you take a look at the White Sox, as a road underdog, 13 wins in their last 47 as a road underdog. I like the Yankees at this price with Cortez. Keuchel's been, crap for the most part this season. So I do like the Yankees there. I was enjoying what Ron was saying about Bumgarner, because I also think he's been, pitching above his level. But that being said, I mean, even in his daytime starts this year, he has a 0.82 ERA. I don't necessarily want to fade him and lay this price with the Cubs. So I'll probably stay away from that game. And what was the third game we were talking about?
Third game is the Blue Jays and the Reds.
Yeah, I've got no opinion on that one at all.
Jovan?
Yeah, I'm gonna ride with the Reds on the run line though. I think it's gonna be a 1-run game, if you ask me. I mean, I like Hunter Green's stuff, and last game he showed something. Now, can he piece it together to the next start? I'm banking on it. That at least on the run line, not on the money line. And this line, this total is looking kind of low. Being in Toronto, and I think they're trying to go to the over. I'm gonna rock with the under in this one. You usually don't see 8s in this stadium, so I'm gonna take a shot at the under in this one.
Alninos, you got 2 -200 favorites in one time slot. Does life get any better for you than that?
What a better way to start your day, huh? I don't know. But I do like the Diamondbacks though. I said Bumgarner maybe getting a little lucky this year, but I'll still take my chances with him against the Cubs. I mean, the Cubs haven't shown me much at all to be laying -145 against anyone really. So yeah, I'll take a shot with the Diamondbacks here.
Take Dallas Keuchel and the White Sox in this one against the Yankees. Total homer pick. I don't care. And not a premium pick or anything like that. I'm rooting for the White Sox. I'll put a couple bucks on them in that gigantic price. I think they certainly can beat the Yankees, so why not? I think Keuchel really hasn't been that bad. Nestor Cortez, a little bit of a regression, I would say. Not like, it hasn't like fallen off of a cliff or anything, but it's certainly he's not getting better, with every start. I like the Reds here too. Besides Brian Bittler laying 2.5 runs there, I like the 9-game cover streak here for the Reds on the run line. I think that this is way too aggressive for the Blue Jays, who are really just a 4-6 team in their last 10 games. They're not playing anything special right now. They beat the Reds by 1 run as part of that 4-6. Part of the 4 is a 1-run win over a Reds team that now has 11 wins. This team was 3-21. Right? So the Reds are actually playing the better baseball than the Blue Jays right now. They have the momentum right now, and I know Manoah is their best guy, but I tell you, this guy could use a couple hours in the gym a day. And I mean, I'm not really in a position to talk, but then again, I'm not a professional athlete either. But I think that will wear on you over the course of a season. We've seen it happen, and
Well, look at CC Sabathia. He didn't have he was overweight, but he pitched well into late in his career.
CC Sabathia didn't seem as jiggly as this guy. CC Sabathia was a big guy, but this guy looks to be a little jiggly in there. He does. I'm just calling it like I see it. Bartolo, he got bigger each season. But this guy is like, this guy's like 20 years old. He's like 400 pounds or something. Kyle Lowry used to be pudgy. He dropped it. He became a much better player. I don't know. Just throwing out that Le'Veon Bell did it. Remember that he had a massive season. Just throwing it out there. Someone everyone's thinking it. Could say it. It's okay. Obviously not a popular opinion on this show. Anyways, we'll go to our next pick. We got the Rockies and the Mets game 1 at Coors. Snowed out yesterday. We got Giants and how about that? 80 degrees in Denver one day, snowstorm the next day. That's Denver weather for you. Got the Giants, Carlos Rodon up against Joe Musgrove for the Padres. How is Jakob Eunice favored in any game? How does that even make sense? It's like it's kind of like when Andrew Kashner went to the Red Sox and was minus 185. It's like, in what world, you know?
What are you talking about? Who's favored?
Well, Eunice was favored yesterday.
Oh, yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were about today's game.
You picked him.
Yeah. I picked on the other side. I didn't pick Eunice yesterday.
Maybe it was Ruffalo.
Yeah, it was probably me.
I'm glad you guys are calling him Jakob Eunice.
I did. I credited you on that. I credited you. And then you got Garrett Whitlock up against Chris Flexen. Chris Flexen, the charm of last year seemed to be wearing off in a hurry on this guy. But Garrett Whitlock, a guy who came out of the bullpen, and the film looks to be out on him as well. He's not like falling off a cliff or anything, but it's not. He's gone from 0 runs to 2 runs. Is where the buck stops, or does he go from 2 runs to 5 runs? We're gonna find out soon. But he's pitching up against Chris Flexen in this one. Al Ninos, what do you think of these 3?
So we had
Rockies, the Rockies,
yeah.
Mets, Giants, Padres, Red Sox, Mariners.
I think, I love, again, the Padres probably should have been a premium play on the money line. Musgrove's looked great this year. Rodon's been good too. Giants are a good team, but I think there's just too much value to pass up on the way Musgrove's been pitching. And I think the Padres have been way better than I expected them to be too without Tatis, so a lot of value there. Like we said, the Red Sox, I said Flexen's been very disappointing this year after last year, so I'll take a shot with the Red Sox -1 here.
Jovan?
And probably the over in the Rockies game.
Jovan?
Yeah, I'm on the Padres in this one. Rodon got blown up his last game. He might, he's a good pitcher, so, he should have a better performance. But Joe Musgrove's just pitching a cut above this season so far. I wasn't too high on him a couple years back, but ever since he's been with San Diego, not ever since, but this year at least, I believe the second part of last year, he's been pitching real good. So I'm gonna back the Padres, and gotta take the over in the Mariners and Red Sox. I don't like the half on the 9, but I'm gonna take it anyway. The Red Sox bats are just hot right now, and they're going up against Chris Flexen. I could see him giving up 5+, and the Red Sox bullpen and the Mariners bullpen giving something up. So I think they can get to 10 runs total.
Mariners seem to have been on the road for a long time. Waiting for Big Al to hit the computer base here and tell us how 2 pitchers facing off a year after they both pitched a no-hitter fare in the home and away cities. And actually, one of the pitchers was no longer on the same team that he threw the no-hitter on. But that's what we have here in the Giants-Padres game.
Yeah, I've actually got a Pick Dogs premium play on that game. So
is it that angle? Is that the angle?
It's not. But was Flexen number 1 or number 2 in Money 1 last year?
He was up there.
Number one.
I mean, but that's baseball for you. I mean, it's like these general managers throw out all this money to guys who, have one good year, and then welcome to Major League Baseball. Now look what you get. Seattle's 1-6 in his 7 starts this season. I don't think he's pitched as bad as that record, though. I mean, you would think, a guy with a 4.35 ERA and a 1.29 WHIP, I think they'd win more than 1 out of the 7 games. But I actually like Seattle here, at this price. Take a look at what Seattle's done in its daytime games, 42 and 28 plus 24.0 net games on the money line. Conversely, Boston it has done terrible in its daytime games, 4 and 12 minus 9.8 net games. I'll definitely take a shot with Flexen here and just look for a bounce. I don't think he's as bad as this 1-6 record so far.
Ron Romanelli.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I disagree with Al McMorty. I'm waiting for the lightning to strike me.
I think a lot of people will disagree with me from time to time.
Well, I just disagree with the point. I do think Flexen is actually pitching worse than his 1-6 record suggests. I think he's one of the worst starters in baseball right now, in my opinion. But the biggest reason for that is he's never really been a strikeout guy, so he's more of a pitch to contact guy. But when you're giving up 1.6 home runs per 9 as a pitch to contact guy, that's where you can run into problems. The walks are also up from last season, so He has a 4.35 ERA, but a 5.1 expected ERA, 4.92 FIP. So I do think there's actually even more room for regression. I mean, record-wise, I kind of throw out records and starting pitchers anyway, but ERA-wise, I think there is even more room to fail. I think the Red Sox score plenty in this one. I like the over in that game, but I also like the Mets on the money line in Game 1. I lean towards the Rockies on the money line in Game 2. I think this is a perfect split doubleheader. The Mets have played in like 5 doubleheaders this season. It seems whether they're home or on the road, all their games keep getting rained out or something. But I do think with Carlos Carrasco pitching well this season, I think they get the job done. But unfortunately, guys, I'm going to have to head out. This is I got to get going. But I wanted to give out a parlay if that would be all right.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to take the Cubs on the money line. I'm going to take the Cardinals on the run line, and I'm going to do Rockies in Game 2 on the money line.
All right. Ron Romanelli.
Good luck, everybody.
Make it a winning day. Brian, you're up.
Well, for me, I think Seattle's been on the road for quite a bit. And I think Chris Flexen's going to be really hit around this season, and Whitlock might not be a minus 165 starter, but I think the Red Sox, these are the games they need to win at home. I'll lay that heavy juice price. I think the Giants-Padres looks very similar to Arizona and the Chicago Cubs here. Really, they'd love to see you here in the Padres with Musgrove, who's had a great year, but Rodon really only one bad start. I think he bounces back here. I think the Giants get the win. I'll lay that heavy price with San Francisco.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm still sticking with my guns with the Padres here. I love Joe Musgrove. He's hometown kid pitching for his team, and Padres 7-0 in his starts this year. I think this is just maybe more of a value play for me than just laying minus 160 with the Giants. I know Rodon's been a strikeout machine, but getting plus 135 with Musgrove, I'll take that, and I'll take the over, and I'll take the Yurfie in that Game 1 between the Mets and Colorado. I think you could actually hit the Yurfie in both of those games, but give me the over and the Yurfie in Game 1.
Giants really pound right-handed pitching, while the Padres moderately better against lefties. But last time out, when Rodon did get hit, it was against a team that hits lefties extremely hard. So that's the difference, in that one. But I don't know. I think you got two good pitchers. Easy to stay the hell away for that one. If Al's got a premium play, then his play is going to be better than mine on that one. That's for sure. I think that we still have probably an over there in Game 1 in Colorado, but it's also the Mets run line for me there. Once again, Colorado struggling against Eastern Division teams. Really getting smoked in those games too. It's not like they've been close games and they got edged out or anything like that. The East has just absolutely crushed them, so they're just not matching up well against them. And I think that there is something to me that's to be said about teams in the same division and how teams fare against teams from the same division, because teams in the same division are generally meant to play against teams in their division and to beat the teams in their division, because that's who they play the most. And that's who it's going to take to beat them and to get to the championship. Same thing in the NFL. I always say the same thing. It's like, you're going to play those teams every single year. You're going to play them twice. So you have to prepare. You have to build your roster to beat those teams. Those are the games that are going to count the most. And I think it's the same thing in baseball, and that's why the Rockies, against the East, they just do not match up against that style that they're playing, whatever the case may be. But I like the Mets there on the run line. I think it probably is a good day to bring a glove to Fenway Park. We've seen a lot of hitting there, just a lot of hitting, and I don't know. Romanelli seemed to really be bashing Chris Flexen, but there's a few other pitchers I think that I would rather not have than him. But he still has been terrible this season. Move to the next set of games. That is the Phillies and the Dodgers. Mitch White up against Aaron Nola. We've got Eliezer Hernandez up against Kyle Wright in the Marlins versus Braves game. The Braves have won about 150. These teams play every single day. I mean, they play every week. They have a 3-game series. It just seems that this is like when I was a kid and before they had the NFL Game Pass, when the Chargers played the Broncos every single week and it was always at Denver. It's like the Braves and the Marlins just seem to play an awful lot. And it's maybe it's at the beginning of the seasons, every season that all their series are just bunched together like this. But they seem to play each other an awful lot, and the Braves have been winning all the games in Miami. So something to keep in mind. And then Shane Bieber, who Al Ninos really doesn't have a lot of nice things to say about, up against Alex Faedo, who hasn't been bad for the Tigers. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm looking at I'm actually looking at the Dodgers here against the Phillies. I for whatever reason the Phillies can't win with Aaron Nola on the mound. That's not a knock on Nola. It's just one of those things that until I see them sort of snap out of that funk, lost 7 straight as a team of Nola's starts, and I think I got to go with the Dodgers just with that batting order against Nola. I'll take the plus money, and I'm gonna take the Yerfie. I'm gonna follow suit. Maybe I was a game late, but I'll take the Yerfie in that Atlanta Braves and Miami Marlins matchup. I might even go with over 1.5 runs. I think Alicia Hernandez can get tagged for a couple in the first, and Kyle Wright may be prone to give up one himself.
Doesn't take much to get me on the Yerfie. Brian?
Yeah, I wonder I wish I had the database that Big Al has, because I'd love to know what the Dodgers' record is as a posted underdog over the last couple of years. It's just you don't see it very often. I like Aaron Nola and the Phillies. Maybe I'm a homer. Maybe that's a homer pick. Aaron Nola has been hit or miss this season as far as starts go. He gets blown up from time to time, but Mitch White's been a mediocre AAA pitcher. So for me, I'll take the Phillies and Nola at a minus 130 or so. And then Guardians, Tigers, Faedo. I wouldn't fade Faedo today. I'd take him on the run line against Bieber. Bieber's been competent, but nothing to write home about. Tigers brutal on the road, but I think it's a 1-run game.
Big Al.
My daughter keeps interrupting me. Now she left her ukulele playing here, so you can probably hear that in the background. Anyway, yeah, I guess Brian's wish is my command. The Dodgers. Hey Bernie, I'll be out in a second. I'm on the radio right now. So the Dodgers have not been an underdog, obviously, very often. This is their first time this year. Last year they were an underdog twice, where they were plus money both against the Padres. They were 0-2. 2020 they were not an underdog at all the entire season. Go back to 2019, they were 3-6, and then in their final 7 games of 2018 they were 2-5. So when you add it all up, I think that's 5-13 their last 18 in the underdog role. But obviously, as Chris mentioned, something's got to give, because Philadelphia's lost all 7 of Aaron Nola's last 7 starts this season, after I think winning his first start of the year. So, it's an interesting game. I'm really curious to see what Mitch has to say, because he loves going against the Dodgers. So, do you double love it when they're an underdog?
He's a Dodger lover now. He's a Phillies.
When I have a priority list, so the Phillies are the scum of the bottom of the barrel. So like it's like it's in the tiebreaker. You take the Dodgers over the Phillies. So it's like it's just the way that it has to work. I like to fade the Dodgers every game, but I like to fade the Phillies every game, which is actually a better payer historically, because I like teams that, like the Phillies, that put all their money into the bats, right? They put all the money into the bats, and when it comes to pitching, they just stink. And when it comes to investing money in the bullpen, Bryce Harper makes more in a month than their bullpen makes in a year combined, and it shows. They've got nothing. They're going to get hammered.
Well, I think the smart money is to fade the Dodgers whenever they're posted dog. I think
it's funny that you would mention smart money of all people.
I actually would agree with Brian here. If given the choice between, what's the lesser of 2 evils, I would definitely take Philadelphia here, because Nola hasn't pitched poorly this year. They just haven't won in his starts. Nola, has a 0.97 whip. I would take my chances with Nola against Mitch White, at minus $1.20, any day of the week.
I'm on the Dodgers all day, twice on Saturday. Anyways, Chris, did we all go? Chris, did you go in this one? Oh, no, we're going the other way.
Yeah, I think it's just Alan Javon that happened.
All right, so Javon's up.
Yeah, I'm on the Phillies. I'm not an Aaron Nola guy, so it has nothing to do with that. I just think that he's actually been, he did pitch good his last 2 starts against the Dodgers. Last start, 7 runs, 2 innings. I mean, 7 innings, 2 runs, and he's going up against Mitch White. I think Mitch White gives up several runs. The Phillies should be able to hit him. So, I understand that the Phillies haven't won the last 7 of Aaron Nola's starts, but there has to end at some point, and I think it ends today.
I was waiting for someone else to get the soundboard instead of just me.
El Niños, you gonna take the Phillies here?
I think I have to. The main reason is not only the last 2 starts, but he's always pitched well against this lineup. But the only guy that's hit him a little bit is Freeman. He's got 15 hits, 2 home runs, 12 RBIs against him. But it's taken 63 at-bats for him to get those numbers. So not great numbers there. And the rest of the lineup is doing a lot worse against him. So, yeah, I have to take a shot with the Phillies. Not really rushing to bet it, but if I had to, I would take the Phillies.
Take your Kershaw shirt. They're gonna knock on your door and take your Kershaw shirt from you.
I like the Dodgers yesterday, though. I had them on the drive-thru. Yeah, and Bieber, I've bashed him a lot on the show, but I believe I backed him last week on here. He came through, and I think I have to. I like this Detroit team. Honestly, I kind of like this lineup a little bit, but the Guardians have been better, and I think Bieber is the more. I don't know what the word is here. I think he's the better option. So yeah, they are juiced, so it'd be a Guardians -1 for me there, and the over in the Braves game.
Okay. Everyone knows where I stand. Dodgers reverse run line all day, twice on Saturday. I like that Yerfie. I'm with Ruffalo there. I don't like the extended, but I think we get a solo shot here off of Hernandez for the Yerfie and Shane Bieber and Fado. I'll go with the Nerfie in that one. Yeah. That's right. You heard it. Happened here. Did it. My first Nerfie of the season.
I wonder what's more surprised than me going against the Dodgers or you doing the Yerfie.
Well, the
Nerfie.
Yeah, that's my first Nerfie of the season. Is that one right there?
Yeah,
Fado's not bad.
Dodgers.
Fado's not bad. Not bad at all. I just always think these good pitchers like Bieber, though, if you're gonna get him, you gotta get him early. That is the book on those guys. Once they start sweating like Framber, it's like that's it. Got the Pirates and the Cardinals. Jose Quintana going for the Pirates. He's my candidate for the Pirates trade deadline, beat themselves up trade of the year. Quintana has pitched lights out. He's been one of those guys at the trade deadline before, more than once. He's a left-handed pitcher, always in style at the trade deadline. He's got a good ERA, and he's on the Pirates, so he's available. This is the guy who, for the Pirates, the trade deadline deal guy is Jose Quintana this year. Just book it right now. I'll tell you right now, it's going to happen.
Goes back to the White Sox.
He could go back to the White Sox. He could go to the Yankees. Crickets. How about the Phillies? There's a lot of teams he could go to. There's a left-handed starting pitcher is always
Commodity.
Is always a commodity.
They need bullpen guys.
So how about you think the White Sox, if he goes to the White Sox, do you think they'll trade Eloy Jimenez and Dylan Cease for him?
No.
That's what they got for him. I mean, that's what they got when they traded him. Was Eloy Jimenez and Dylan Cease for Jose Quintana. I don't think they're going to trade that back to get him. Baltimore Orioles against the Tampa Bay Rays. This game just ended from last night. 13 innings. The Rays had every chance to win that game. and let it get away from them. Then they had every chance to lose the game and couldn't even do that right. And then finally a 2-run home run just to get it over with, you know. It didn't matter. There was a guy on third with, I think, nobody out in that game. And then Justin Verlander, I'm not betting against him again. I already did that with Ryan, and he threw a one-hitter. So I don't care. He's minus 256. I got the Astros in this one. There. I said it. Minus 256. Lay it. Overlay it. Book it. Cash it. I'll do the Jovan. Book it. Cash it. Bet it. I like Verlander. Chris, what do you think of these three?
You know what? I'm gonna go with the Pittsburgh Pirates and the plus money there. I like the St. Louis Cardinals, but Matthew Liberatore, he's sort of implemented last minute in place of Miles Mikolas, and he's been a mediocre starter in AAA the last couple of seasons. He's been around a 500 pitcher, and I think like you said, Mitch Quintana just pitching very well right now, and I think he can help the Pirates steal a win here, probably a 1-run victory. So give me the Pirates in that one. I'm gonna take the under 8.5 in that Tampa Bay Baltimore matchup. A lot of hype right now that Adley Rutschman finally, the top prospect in baseball, making his debut here. But I think this pitching matchup between Bradish and Springs, two pitchers that want to sort of hold on to their spots in their respective rotations over the course of the season, I think we see a bit of a duel there. And I'm with you. I'm taking Justin Verlander minus 2.5, minus 3.5. The Texas Rangers have kept this head-to-head fairly close this season, but this is probably going to be the one game where it really gets blown open.
You think the Pirates get anything for Quintana in that trade? You think they're going to get another guy that they'll trade next year at the trade deadline?
It depends who they trade him to. I don't know.
Well, the Pirates generally have the open trade pipeline to the Yankees. It's generally the team that they trade with. So, Brian, what do you think of these three?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rays here at this moderate price. Springs, I don't see him going more than 3 or 4 innings, but the Rays have the bullpen to get the job done. And Bradish, he's a probably below mediocre pitcher. So I like the Rays here in this one. And then I agree with Ruffalo. I'm going to take the Astros minus 2.5 at plus 132. It's just Verlander's dominant. No reason to go against him today.
Big Al?
I don't have much of an opinion on 2 of the 3 games. I've got a pick dogs premium play on the third, so I'm going to stay away from, commentary.
We call that taking a Ruffalo on that segment.
I'm going to take a Ruffalo. For those who've been waiting with bated breath, I did get my 2 USFL plays posted at pick dogs, so they're up and ready. I know everyone's been waiting for those, but I actually have to jump right now, so I will talk to you guys Sunday morning.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Okay, good luck, guys.
Good luck. That was Big Al with us with plenty of picks for today. So that leads us to Jovan.
Yeah, I'm also on Verlander and the Houston Astros, but I'll take it up to 3. That's as far as I'll take it, minus 3. So that's that on that. John Gray, even if he has a decent game, I could see him giving up 4. That'll be a decent game for him against this Astros lineup. But Jose Quintana, the Red Sox could definitely use a guy like that. But knowing Hein Bloom, he likes the Garrett Richards and Michael Walkers of the world, so no shot at that. But yeah, I could see plus money with Jose Quintana and the Pirates in this one.
Al Niños.
Yeah, kind of like the Pirates, but I don't know if I trust them for the full game or the money line, so I will take plus the half run in the first 5 innings. I think that's your best shot with the Pirates in that matchup for Quintana just come out strong, and that way we don't even have to worry about the offense. And that's about it for me here.
All right. We go to our final segment. Brewers Nationals. You got Patrick Corbin going for the Nationals. So this is a great Bitler segment here because you got Patrick Corbin, Trevor Williams, and Michael Lorenzen all pitching in the same segment here. So you got Brandon Woodruff, Patrick Corbin, Milwaukee, Washington. Then you got Brad Keller. All you need is that for to be Mitch Keller instead of Brad Keller, and it's the Bitler Slam. Brad Keller versus Joe Ryan.
I don't bet on any Mitches, that's for sure. Nope.
Mitch White today for the Dodgers. Anyways, got Rockies Mets game 2. Gomber, Williams, and then the nightcap. Really not too late of a Saturday night action here. Michael Lorenzen and Frankie Montas. Ooh, this game could go on all night. Chris, what do you think of these 4?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Milwaukee extended line -2.5. I know Brandon Woodruff's had his moments, but Patrick Corbin, and when the Nationals have had Patrick Corbin on them, have been absolutely dreadful. 0-8, outscored 53-15 in those 8 games. So give me the Milwaukee Brewers.
Can I talk you into the Yerfy in that one?
Let me see what the over the extended total is in that game.
Yeah, I can't believe it's only at 8. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bit of a gift. But I also like the under in that Minnesota and Kansas City matchup. Yeah, Joe Ryan's pitching extremely well this season, and I think we've talked about it before. If you put Brad Keller on almost any other team, maybe a top contender in the AL, he could be a -200 pitcher. He's actually pitching very, very well. 2.89 ERA, and I think that could be a 3-2 kind of game here. So take that, and I like the over in that Oakland LA Angels matchup. I think I was leaning towards the under at first, but the A's picked up some offense last night, so I really like that. And I'll get back to you on that first inning total.
What's it going to take to put you into that Yerfy today? Brian?
Oh, not very much.
On that grouping of games here, I think I'm going to take the Rockies here in game 2 against the Mets. Gomber, I think 3 out of the last 4 starts for him, big quality starts against Trevor Williams. I think the Rockies have the advantage there. And then
CJ Cron home run prop there? Possible.
I had him yesterday, but they didn't play, so that.
Well, how about here? How about in this one? Because these were not the pitchers. It was Carrasco yesterday, but it could against Marquez. But this is Gomber Williams.
I like it.
I like.
And then the other one,
Cron job.
Brewers and Nationals. It might be a sucker play, but I'll take the over 7.5. I think Corbin could give up 8 runs himself. So Woodruff hasn't been shut down, so I'll take the over 7.5. Nationals Brewers.
Might not take him that long either. Jovan.
Yeah, I'm on the Twins and Royals under first 5. Just don't want to play with the bullpens right now. I've been getting burned by like that. And I'll roll with Colorado. Trevor Williams on the mound. I expect him to give up a lot of runs. So going up against Austin Gomber in game 2, I believe. So yeah, give me Colorado.
El Niños. Brewers -1 for you?
You could, but honestly, I prefer the over in this game. I think that's a better play. But you could look at the -1 too. But I really prefer the over here. I prefer you could take the team totals over. It's really juiced for the Nationals over 2.5, but you can find they're over 3. I think they get at least 3 runs across too. So I like a lot of overs here. And sorry, now I'm off the page. And I like the over in the second Rockies game as well. But honestly, that Brewers Nationals over should have probably been a premium.
All right. Well, we go to the NHL. Just one game tonight. St. Louis Blues against the Colorado Rockies. Finally, the Panthers and Lightning don't have to play against the Heat. But, of course, now the Panthers go on the road in that series. But Blues Avalanche. I like the Blues on the puck line personally because the betting tools say so. Chris?
Yeah, I like the Blues as well, but I'm going to go with the under 1.5 goals in the first period. We've only seen 1 goal between these two teams in the first period in the 2 games combined, and I think these 2 teams have taken a more defensive approach to their games. We saw a 3-2 game in Game 1, and the Blues shut down the Avs in Game 2, 4-1, and I think this could be another low-scoring start that maybe the game really starts to pick up in the second period. So, yeah, give me the under 1.5 first period goals.
More surprising event in your life, the first time you saw Ron Romanelli do a video or El Nino's taking the Phillies today.
El Nino's taking the Phillies hands down.
All right. I was the first video that I ever saw Romanelli when he sent me the test. I sent it over to Rufo and I said, "We're on to something here." This was like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I was like, we're on to something with this guy.
And that just goes to show you the magnitude of what Al's done today.
It's knocked my socks off. How about you, Brian? What's more surprising to you? Al Nino's not pounding the table on the Brewers -1 or taking the Phillies? What is
I tell you, I really thought he'd take the Dodgers today. I was in virtual shock. As far as this hockey game goes, I like your Blues pick on the puck line. It's just the juice is a little bit high for me. I'll take the Blues at home on the money line. I think they got some momentum added into this game after looking good in Colorado. Blues are playoff tested. I think the payday here supports is a nice one to take St. Louis.
NHL is bizarro world here. Is I'm taking the 1.5 and Brian's taking the money line. Jovan, no hockey for him, so we're gonna go down Ninos.
Ruffalo's pick in the first period might be the better play here, but I'll stick with the whole game to stay under. As I said, it's been some surprisingly defensive battles here. I mean, Bennington's been a good goalie. We've seen that before, but we've seen the Avalanche go through a huge over streak in the regular season. They have a great offense, but I think this one stays under the total.
All right, I had a rain out in my parlay yesterday, but I hit the other two teams, and they're both big dogs. So see if we can carry it over. I had the White Sox was mixed in there with those other ones. But anyways, Chris, you got your parlay ready?
Yeah, I do. And just to let you guys know, all the news outlets I'm just seeing right now are all covering Al Nino's taking the Phillies today. I'm going to go with the Boston Celtics -3.5 in the first half. I'm going to go with the Houston Astros extended line -2.5 against the Texas Rangers, and the under 1.5 first period goals, Avalanche and Blues +997.
Brian?
I'll tell you what, this might be the best parlay I've ever given out in years, and I love it.
Brewers -1?
Cubs on the money line, Giants on the money line, Phillies on the money line. These three, absolutely love them.
What about would you throw the Brewers -1 in there?
No, I'm not messing. I'm not messing.
Brian's going to go right out on the sidewalk with how much chalk he just put out there.
It's like, whew, it's dry. As Alec Manoah goes to -315 in the betting.
I really thought Mitch was going to throw out what's going to be higher by first pitch, Manoah's weight or his line.
-315.
Books are running for that. They don't want anything to do with the Blue Jays.
Jovan, what do you like for your parlay?
Well, I'm going to throw out a 3-teamer. Cincinnati run line, Minnesota KC under first 5, and Colorado game 2.
I like that one. I like that one a lot. I'm going to give out the same parlay. Al?
I love the Brewers Nationals over. Then I will go Padres and Indians. Could have done something more exciting.
Guardians.
Some Guardians, sorry.
Guardians. It's Guardians to you. I like the over in the Rockies Mets game 1. 9.5 with Carrasco out there. And I like the Mets run line in that game, so it's like, there's going to be a ton of runs. I like the over 9.5 in the Rockies Mets game 1. I like the Chicago White Sox parlayed up with the Cincinnati Reds money line. That's it. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Have an awesome day. We appreciate each and every one of you. Grab our premium picks. These guys are all on fire. I've been hitting with my play of the day, but I'm kind of treading water. It's like the leaderboard is so hot. It's like I'm not really even doing that bad. I'm near the bottom, so it's like these guys are tearing it up. So hit them hard. Have a great day.